Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming, and this is The Walking Dead Season 8 Spoiler Chat Live. Sorry, running a few minutes behind here. Had a couple settings we had to take a quick look at, so hopefully everything is coming through loud and clear. If you guys can hear me, just toss a quick 999 up in chat, just so I know that everything is rocking here. So good to see you. What's up, Carl Jordan? Hopefully you had a great birthday. Lindsay Luke. Trev Heath, what's going on? Northside Queen, Moody Girl, how you doing, Moody Girl? I see you have a brand new thumbnail image. I like that. What's up, Dark Angel? AJ Jepson, thank you for being here. Living Dead. D Jones, finally made it to a live chat. Awesome, awesome. See you there, Grimes Girl. I see you. Gene Atkins, thank you for being here. Gabrielle, oh, cool, cool. Harley Quinn, thank you so much. Real quick, and I did this on a previous video, Michelle M. Just want to give a few special shout outs. A lot of people have been just really rocking the Patreon site and supporting me on that site as well. So I just want to give a super shout out to Sharon Doble, Jewel Dill, Steph Richardson, Steve Huffman, Rebecca from Texas, Lisa G, the OKS Taylor, Diane Estes, Peace Dove, Emmy Bacon, Tommy Sweetass McCandless, and also Harley Quinn. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. Appreciate that. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, but we're going to sort of gradually get into it. We got, what, 40, 50 people here, and you guys all need to hit that like button. That is the price of admission, is slapping that like button when you come in. Good to see a lot of people I haven't seen in a couple streams, so I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Hopefully, if you guys are just jumping onto the stream, I have posted a few videos earlier today. Comic book reading early. Been getting a lot of requests for those comic book readings, so I'm trying to stay caught up with you guys. 59 issues that I've read so far. It's a lot. I also did a little gameplay video and a Season 8 kind of a spoiler video, more photos from Spoiling Dead's fan page. These are pretty interesting things, and we're going to try to tie those spoiler pictures into what we think is going to happen. Guys, I think we are on the right track with the, remember, about, what, 6 weeks ago or so, we started doing our predictions. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through. And I think we might be on to something. Because we have predicted that the groups are going to split up. And the spoiler picks that I saw today and we posted the videos do strongly suggest that the group is divided. Not emotionally, but they're going in different directions. So if you guys are new to this chat, here's a couple things. I got to go through the ground rules. If you don't want to be included in a video, do not comment, because if you comment, I'm more than likely going to read your questions, your comments, your thoughts. So be careful what you type. You're going to be part of this video. Secondly, once the video goes live, about 10-15 minutes after we end it, it will be live. People will watch the playback. It's starting to get more and more steam. We're getting more and more viewers. So if you guys could get over there as well, leave your thoughts and comments once the video goes live, because they're not going to see everything that's streaming right now. And that's pretty much the ground rules. The other thing is, leave a whole lot of thoughts, leave a whole lot of questions. We're not just going to talk about episode number 1 today. We're going to talk about just lots of stuff, lots of different things. So, Saudialo, I hope I'm saying that the right way. What's going to happen in the 100th episode? We're going to talk about that. We've talked about it in a couple different live streams so far. At what we're leaning towards, I mean, there has been a lot of people not seen, I guess, is what we're looking for. So the rumors are they're filming simultaneously. Rick's going after the sanctuary, so they think that these cars mean and that he's bringing the attack to Negan. Now we've also predicted that Negan might be bringing the attack to different areas. Negan might be on the way to the Kingdom by the time Rick gets to the sanctuary. So we are definitely going to talk about all of that. But hopefully that indirectly answers a little bit of your question. What's up, Lisa G? Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Thanks, Peace Dove. Appreciate that. You guys have some of the most awesome comments ever. Really quick, somebody had asked this. It is definitely not a requirement. But one person had said on the 999 Army page, if they did not want to, if they didn't have the access to do a Patreon donation, you can do also super chat donations. You know, it's not required. I'm just telling you it's out there. There is a smiley face down below the chat and also a $sign. If you ever feel compelled to do that, let's say it's $1, $2, whatever, $500, whatever you guys want to do, we're going to stop the chat and we're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I would just ask, if you are going to do something like that, ask something, because I don't want you just to kind of make a donation and not, feel like that it's warranted or that we're going to talk about it. So if you ever do that in any live stream, we're going to stop this chat, whatever I'm talking about at that moment, and we're going to address your comment, your thought, your prediction, your theory. So, all right, we got everything out in the open, right? Thank you, guys. All right, let's see. I'm going to start reading a couple of the comments. Carl Jordan's already saying, hit that like button. So tell him. You push it. I figured Tommy Sweet Ass McCandless would be Lucilleing it too. All right. I see you, Emmy. Also, Spagooter Shooter. Thank you for being here. We get some names, don't we? Maboon. All right, real quick, quick show of hands. If you guys could just throw a 999 in chat. If you have either seen the pictures on Spoiling Dead's fan page or watched the video I posted about 2 hours ago with all the armored cars. If you haven't, it's cool. I mean, you'll get a chance to go back and check that out. But if you have seen those images, we're going to talk about those today. So let me know. I'll give you guys a second just to respond to that. Steph, you just completely ignored all the guys in here. It was just like, oh my God, ladies, I made it. Well, how about the rest of us that aren't ladies? It's okay. We won't hold it against you that you don't really care about the rest of us. All right, so a few people have seen the images, have seen the video. Yeah, if you guys watch the video too, leave a comment on that video. The more interaction, the better. The more we discuss things, the more people are going to want to discuss things. It's like contagious. All right, let's start to, if you guys have seen that and you understand what we're talking about. So let me take you back in time just a little bit. We talked about, in episode number 1, which is also episode number 100, the potential that Ezekiel's going to go back to the kingdom, Maggie's going back to Hilltop, and Rick is going to take care of whatever business. Now, these pictures seem to suggest that could very well be happening. I also predicted that when Ezekiel goes back toward the kingdom is already being attacked by Simon, by Heavy Metal Dude, by Negan something. Negan's on the offensive as well. I think what they have to do, they can't show either group as weak. So they're gonna show these skirmishes happen simultaneously. So Rick's going after Negan, but Negan's going after somebody else. Ezekiel's going after an outpost, and Simon's going after somebody else. And it's going to get a little bit entertaining. I'm just messing with you, Steph. Which is why I think it definitely opens up the door. We're going to be really excited about episode number 100. Oh, cool. Rick, the group, they're fighting back. Ezekiel, they're fighting back. But then I think it's going to end in some serious heartbreak. So, that's where Ezekiel hits the outpost. They get overwhelmed. And I think Shiva will die. I really, the more I see the filming and what's going on, I feel like that. I could be wrong, and it may happen a little bit later. But you're going to have these series of battles where one person gains the upper hand and then they lose a little bit. So back to these pictures, it does suggest that Rick's going in guns a-blazing with armored cars. But I didn't see any pictures of Ezekiel, didn't see any pictures of Maggie. So I do think it does support where we're at this point. Could definitely change. Well, will definitely change as we get more data. All right, so. Whoa. Sean McGillian says, Rick or Carl need to die this season. Has to be far better. I don't know. First of all, if Rick dies, I'm going to lose a lot of interest in the show. I'll just tell you personally, because I followed Rick's story the entire time. He is the hero. Regardless of how much we like Abraham, we like Daryl, we like Carol, we like everybody else, Rick is the story. So they can threaten to do that. They're not going to kill the main character on the show. It would be too different. Too different too fast. Carl would be a lot for Rick to deal with. I'm not saying I could not see Carl dying. It's a possibility. I just don't think it's likely. I think Carl's got a lot more story to tell too. You do have one thing you have to do is, I mean, you got to keep in mind it is still a business, and it's just not. They got lashback over Glenn and Abraham. There would be so much more lashback if they killed Rick. And I'm not saying I would stop watching it, but if The Walking Dead kills Rick, it's going to become Fear the Walking Dead. It might be okay, but it ain't going to be The Walking Dead. That's my opinion. What's up, Walking Dead girl? Thanks for being here. Yep, exactly. Jamie, the show's based on Rick. I think it's a novelty. It's fun to say stuff like that. It wouldn't be fun to watch it. Kelly G says, if Gabe goes out to fight, think he dies. You mean Father Gabriel? I'm assuming that's who you're talking about. Well, Father Gabriel does not have armor on his car. It does raise a very interesting scenario. So if you guys have watched it, you saw all these cars with armor. You actually see one of the trucks have holes in it. But Father G is not. His truck is not protected. It's possible. I don't think he dies yet. We know that Father Gabriel does not die until the Whisperer War. It doesn't mean that they can't change it. So, very possible. Kelly G, could we lose Father Gabriel early on? Absolutely. I think to me it's more likely that Morgan will probably die because of his story at this point. Jerry may die. Shiva may die. A couple saviors. But it wouldn't shock me if Father Gabriel dies in episode number 100, if they change the storyline a little bit. Yeah, he is. So, Sean, good point. Sean, I'm going to try McQuillan, hopefully. He's grown into a good character. I definitely changed my opinion of him so many times. You like him, you hate him, you like him, you hate him. Yeah, he redeemed himself. Cool. Keep the questions coming. A lot of the questions are going to, anything that you guys want to know opinions on as far as the armored vehicles, the trucks, but that's a great call out. So let's kind of work through that. I think it's painted a pretty good picture, but in a couple of weeks we're going to know a lot more. Who's filming, where they're filming. Because you're probably looking at 90 minutes when they do the season, the premiere. So the fact that a lot of people have not been seen filming tells me there's going to be either a Eugene storyline, something going on with Negan's wives, something going on with Dwight inside the sanctuary, some Negan preparation, some Negan frustration by what's happened. So I don't think it's just going to be one-sided. I think you're going to see, if I had to kind of predict out based on what I know just from the two spoiler scenes, what confuses me a little bit at this point is the gas scene with Rick and Carl. I'm almost thinking that I don't know how it's going to come into play based on, unless maybe they're out looking for supplies before. So let's say Rick and Carl are out a little bit of reminiscing. They come across this old gas station. They do find some weapons or they find some gas. They fuel up all the trucks. So I could see that happening. They're out there looking to really fuel up and go after Negan. So maybe that's the beginning of it. Takes us back a little bit, a little nostalgia happening. And then we get to see a little bit of a scene from Negan inside the sanctuary. Then we see kind of Rick loading up the trucks on their way. Then we see a little bit of Ezekiel Something goes down at Hilltop. Yeah, I mean, that could easily be 90 minutes. Dylan Hodge, you think the unarmored vehicle and Gabriel will drive into a fence and let a horde in? Well, let's think about that. There's three scenarios here. Scenario one is that they're not filming and it was just somebody taking a picture of them driving the truck to a destination. And I mean, I know it sounds a little off the wall, but let's say that their truck is going to be armored by the time they start filming it, and it was just a mistake, or somebody just called a picture of it. So there's one possibility. Here's the possibility they'll ask all of you: is if that is the way his truck is without the armor, do you think it means something? Do you think it is either they didn't have time to do it, they're out of supplies, or do you think it means that they might be writing in a death of Father Gabriel? Leave your thoughts and leave your comments, and I'll read a few of the thoughts. Kentucky Pricer says, I hope the first episode is war. If it is Carl walking to get gas, there probably will be some of that, KP. I don't think it's going to lead right into war. I do think there will be a little bit of that flashback or that, that kind of getting you the emotions all worked up. But I don't see it being a 20-minute scene. I think it's just going to be 5-10 minutes. Shadowblade, will Negan Lucille someone in Season 8? I think so, but I think he's going to Lucille one of his own. That's my feeling. Yeah, Lindsay, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the opening scene is going to be Rick and Carl looking for supplies, looking for something, and then it's going to ramp up pretty quickly. I could definitely see that happening. I'm just reading a few comments if it gets a little quiet here. Father Gabriel could be used to lure Negan out. Remember, he lied to Negan about Maggie, so he's a marked man. Ooh, that would be tough, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would be a Father Gabriel sacrifice. Possibility. Nikki Stick says Gregory's death needs to be satisfying and funny. And by the hands of Jesus. Eric Calvin, will Lucille break? You're getting into some comic lore now. That's a tough question. I don't know what they'll do with Lucille. Maybe before he gets locked up. Well, Steph, that's a good point. So they're out looking for supplies. Keep in mind, and that's where I think a little bit of the time lapse is going to happen, because both groups are kind of preparing for war. Now, how long do they need to prepare for war? 2 days, 3 days, 4 days? I mean, both groups got to be on edge because they know that they know what's at stake now. There does have to be a little bit of a healing period. So Rick and Carl out getting gas. Rosita's healing. Michonne is healing. Ezekiel's on his way back. Maggie's on her way back. That's my thought. I think that sets the stage. So, good point, Lindsay. They could be using Father Gabriel to crash into the gates of the sanctuary. Decoy, very possible. Gregory needs an iconic death. No, Gregory just needs a death, Eric. He just needs to go. Yeah, we predicted Eric would die in either the first or second episode. I don't know if Eric is. I wonder what the impact of Aaron would be. I just don't feel like Aaron is going to be destroyed at this point. I think Aaron is more about war than he is about love at this point. Very good suggestions, though. So Dead Lover 123 says, will all of Season 8 be all-out war? I don't think so. I think we're going to get... I think we'll get a filler episode in there somewhere. But I think most of it is going to be... I think a good 14 episodes is going to have to do with some type of war or war planning or war preparation. But I just got a feeling this season is going to have a lot of death. Not just when the, when the big battle happens. I think there's just going to be so many of these small skirmishes that you're going to see different people dying every single week. And how do they pick up the pieces? Wow, if we were to speculate Season 9, it's really tough because you figure that Season 8 might end up with Negan being locked up. Season 9 starts out with a little bit of that, how it plays out, and the dissension with Rick's group about locking Negan up, and then somewhere maybe just before the middle of Season 9 is where we're probably going to get the Whisper War. Well, we'll get the introduction of the Whispers, maybe, not the Whisper War. Nikki, so what happens if Michonne gets pregnant? I don't think the writers will do that to us at this point. I think there's too much with Maggie already being pregnant and Judith being there. Judith is already going to be bait. She's going to take some role of being kidnapped. I know it. But yeah, I don't think they're going to do that with Michonne or any other characters. I wouldn't expect any more childbirth anytime soon. Cherilyn, we're working through the spoilers. We're just talking about some of the stuff that's out there. Lindsay, I don't think Heavy Metal Guy is going to get Lucille'd. I think Heavy Metal Guy, if he doesn't get eaten by Shiva, or if he doesn't... I could see Gavin getting Lucille'd and Heavy Metal Guy taking on more authority for Negan. I think Negan would like that type of personality, that type of character. The way Gavin just kind of... Gavin's too nice. And he's like, walk, get started. So just by that smirk on his face, you know that Jared, a.k.a. Heavy Metal Guy, he resents Gavin. So I would not be surprised to see something happen. They get jumped, a few people die. Maybe, Gavin and Jared are at that outpost. Because we haven't seen them at the sanctuary, so maybe they're at the outpost. Ezekiel attacks that outpost, takes out a few of the people. Jared blames Gavin for some of the loss. Negan doesn't like it, doesn't take kindly to it, blames Gavin, kills Gavin with Lucille, and Jared gains some rank with Negan's group. Just a theory. There you go. See? Emmy, Desiree Bacon, I'm telling you, we communicate like that. It's like it's a mental connection. She says, I think the Heavy Metal Guy will become closer to Negan. Exactly. That's kind of what I was saying in a very long, roundabout way. But I sort of have to play out how it would happen in my head. Like, I have to have a rationale. Logan Productions, Simon will die. Not until Carl gets in a position to kill him. Oh, you don't quietly sneak in. Hey, everybody. Shanny D, a.k.a. Little Michonne, just came in 30 minutes late. So if you could just let her know that you see her. I would assume she's probably at the gym or something, and then made 30 minutes of gym time a priority over being here with us. That's okay. Nobody's feelings are hurt. Rebecca from Texas. Kills. How many outposts does Negan have? You know, they haven't said it, but we would just have to speculate. I mean, what if they had 10 outposts? There was a lot of people he was talking to giving that speech. You know, right now it's just a guess. He's got a lot of people, though. So, to those of you that, first of all, to a couple of you guys are late, slap the like button, please. To the rest of you, keep your questions coming. We're taking a little bit of this week's spoiler pictures. We know there's some filming going on in multiple places. We saw pictures of the armored cars. We assume that there's some things going on inside the sanctuary. And it's making our early predictions look better and better. They're still alive, I guess, at this point. You know, it's like if you March Madness and you pick a team and your team barely wins, you're still hanging on. And I think that's the thing with our spoilers. We were so early into the spoilers, or predictions, they weren't even spoilers, with just blind, no information. So the fact that we still got a shot at it, I'm liking it. Sebastian Carpio, do you think everyone at Sanctuary is really down to fight? Absolutely not. A lot of people see the Sanctuary as being normal, and they're working, and they have a point system to try to eat. They're not all war. Some of them they're just working. They're making bread. They got ice cream. They got gelato. Sergeant Pugsley, who do you think is going to die in Season 8? It's a broad question. But Morgan, Shiva, Jerry, Simon, toward the end, the very, very end. Gavin. A whole lot of women from Oceanside. Somebody close to Jadis. Maybe Tamiel. A whole lot of people from the Kingdom. I think they're just going to get overran. Eric, Tobin. There's at least 10. And that may just be the beginning. I'm not reading that comment. But great comment, Jamie Jordan. But I'm still not going to read it. See, you can type it, but if I read it, I'm going to be the one to get in trouble for it. Eric Calvert. What if Morgan goes his own path and shoots Jared in the leg? Yeah, possibly. You know, I think somebody else. You know, I think Arat's going to die too. Oh, Gregory. Yeah, there you go. There's 2 more. So, like I said, I think it's going to be a ton of people are going to be off the show. This is going to be one of the most intense seasons. I will go on record right now. I'm going to say Season 8 is going to be the best season of The Walking Dead ever. I just think there's so many different storylines that I'm excited to see. And they can't make it 16 weeks of war. It has to be these just little small battles. Well, and think about it, like any history buff, if you go through different types of wars throughout, it's never one war. It's always like the battle of this, the battle of that, the battle of that. So I think that's what they're going to do with All Out War. We're going to call it All Out War, but there's going to kind of be like Ezekiel's outpost attack. Rick charges the sanctuary. Negan wipes out the kingdom. Rick attacks the scavengers. The Saviors finish off Oceanside because they know that they had weapons. So I think all these things could be subplots. Tommy, I missed. I just saw guess not. I missed your comment. What's up, Dale Face? Yeah, a lot of good comments, but I'm behind on a couple of them, I think. Diane Estes says, I think Gavin has redeeming qualities. I think Gavin's fine, but that's going to be the death of him. I don't see Gavin as somebody that is going to benefit Rick a whole lot because he just wants peace and quiet, which makes him the perfect. He's a good soul, right? But he's weak, and because he's weak, Negan's going to kill him. So that's going to be who I think is the Lucille victim. It's really, Frank Place says, Killshot, do you think the Walker herd that Rick's group causes on the sanctuary that happened in the comics? One, I would say I'm not that far in the comics, so it's a tough question for me. Number two, it's always difficult to predict what they're going to hold true in the comic because they don't have to. I mean, they can just change it. So I'd be guessing at this point. Tommy Sweet asked McCandless, do you ever find out what happened to Wade the Savior that was looking for Dwight and Sherry? I guess not. Yeah, we're going to have to chalk him to the list of other people that we don't know where they're at, what they were doing. There's a lot of loose ends they need to go back and tie up. They can't do them all. The only thing I would kind of equivocate that to in a TV show is, and of course we're always going to get the questions about Heath, Sherry, Morales, whoever people want to keep, throwing up there. I'm tempted to read some of the at the end of the comic books. Robert Kirkman does what's called letter hacks, and he answers some of the questions, and he kind of delves into that a little bit and says, "Look, I can't go back and focus on every detail, or it would be boring." And I think we're always going to have questions that we want answered, like where do they get their toothpaste from? Where do they get their soap from? You assume that certain things are just going to play out, but they're not going to go back and answer everything. Dead Lover Kills, do you think we'll see a Glenn flashback? Yes, I do. And it will be, I'm going to predict there's going to be about a 6-month time skip to the birth of baby Herschel, and that's when we'll see Glenn. And I don't think that'll be until season 9. Hey, Kills, do you think that Rick will charge at Negan all beast mode? I don't think Negan's going to be there. I think either something's going to happen. They're going to run into something on the way to the sanctuary, or they're going to try to go into the sanctuary and do some damage, and Negan's already hitting some other place. And we still have our Judith will be kidnapped theory. We've talked about that multiple times, so maybe Rick takes his eye off of Judith, goes out and goes into attack mode, and does not protect his family. So, still think Judith's going to be taken. Jamie Jordan says, Sherry will show up with a secret force led by Desiree Bacon. Now, no offense, Emmy. I don't think Emmy, I don't want to underestimate Emmy. Emmy doesn't look like the leader fighter type like big tough Emmy in there. Emmy, are you capable of leading a group of to charge after them? I'll just throw it out there. I'll just ask you. I'm not even gonna skate around that question. I mean, Shanny D on the opposite side of that, yes. If you said Shanny D would lead Sherry and group into an attack mode, then I'm going to give you that because she's got katanas, she's got swords. What is Emmy? Emmy going to go in and attack with a wiffle ball bat or something? I mean, or a Herschel or a Walking Dead Herschel figure? Nah, it ain't going to happen. Emmy's too nice. And I mean that in a good way. Well, no, I don't mean it in any way. I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna get myself in trouble if I start singling people out. Here we go. I'll be neutral. Emmy and Shanny D will co-lead a group into battle. There you go. Emmy's not even here. Yeah, she popped in for 5 minutes. Have you seen her make a comment like in the last 10 minutes? She popped in, said hi everybody. She pulled a Michelle Yang on us. She popped in here, said hello, and then went and did something. I just called her out and no response. See that? It's like good 5 minutes, not even one response. She'll hear it in the playback. Benium says, Kills, what do you think the cliffhanger is for the mid-season finale? There we go. We finally got a comment. Cliffhanger for mid-season finale. Man, now we got to go back and watch it. We predicted what we thought would happen because we did up to episode number 8. It could be a whole combination of things. Episode number 8, I think, is that's when the war is really going to start. They're going to have all these little small subplots up to episode number 8, and the cliffhangers, it is going to be, and it ain't going to be that much of a cliffhanger. It's going to be something like the end of episode 16 in season 7. There's going to be some hardcore war. I'll open it up to the group, though. I mean, if you guys have a good idea of what you think, what would you want to be the cliffhanger? And I'll read a few of the comments. Sandy, here's the thing, and I've heard this a lot. Shiva will die. It costs too much to have her stay on. I don't think it's a cost issue. They could easily toss out $1 million an episode. That's not a big deal to them at this point. To me, it's the hassle of having to have the actors act in a different way when there's either a puppet there or you're just trying to go in and edit everything. And it's hard to make it look super realistic. And I don't think you need Shiva long term for the storyline. It's almost like, do you need Rick's hand to be cut off? They could CGI, they could, put a green sleeve on Rick's hand and do that. It's just not imperative for the storyline. And I think that it's easy to kill Shiva off early on a couple of attacks and really accelerate Ezekiel's storyline. But, to think that the #1 show on television doesn't make enough money to cover a CGI tiger, they make the money. They got it. Kirkman would just have to sacrifice a little caviar per week. I'm sure they could cover it. Killshot, do you think Eugene will die this season or sometime next season? Maybe that's what we, yeah, I think that's what we talked about for episode number, yeah, I think Eugene dies. I think Eugene's going to kill himself. That came up too, whether or not Heath would be there, whether Heath would lose his leg in all-out war. I don't think they're going to. Same premise with Shiva, same premise with Rick's hand. I think they might blow up someone's leg. I don't think they're going to keep them around though. At this point in the game, I think it's a liability to have a person take Herschel's role when they've already done that. They've already shown that they can do it. Maybe they blow up their leg and then they die shortly thereafter. Rated Red. Who would replace Eugene's character if he dies? What do you need to replace? I guess is my question. There's a high probability that no one would be around to take the coward role of Eugene, Mr. Smarty Pants. I don't know that Eugene needs to be replaced. When Eugene and Abraham, they played well off of each other. Eugene's lost. Abraham's gone. He is not going to fit the bill for what Negan wants. He can't go back home to Rick. They've intentionally written him that way. He is he's on the way out. I don't think they kill him. I think I think they're going to bring awareness to the awkward social issue that Eugene is facing. And it's going to be one of those statements. And I don't think they're afraid to do it. I think a lot of shows are afraid to have someone. I mean, let's look at the facts with Eugene. He has the ability to make suicide pills. He already witnessed Sasha take a suicide pill, so he knows it works. He's the only person that knows that it works. He failed Negan. He couldn't negotiate with Rick. He looked across that fence and knew that the people that he used to be a part of were willing to blow him up. They tried. I mean, she hit the detonator, so there was no question to ask. Negan even pointed out as much. I get it. You're going to kill me, but you are going to blow up Eugene. And, I mean, Negan rubbed it in. Then you get back to the sanctuary, and Negan looks him right in the eyes and says, how do you suppose she died? So Eugene knows he's on to him. What is Eugene going to do? Leave and go back to Rick? That ain't going to happen. So when he wears out his last bit of welcome with Negan, he understands. But keep in mind, he's going to do something important before he kills himself. And that's what I want you guys to type right now. And I'll tell you why he's going to do it. The writers are smart. Sasha said, I'm not giving up on you. Leave your thoughts and comments right now. If Eugene were to kill himself, if you don't agree, you don't have to participate. What is he going to do to leave his mark to help out Rick's group before he does it? Let's see what you guys got. Remember, he is an engineer. He's a smart dude. Dr. Smarty Pants. I got my thoughts already. And I'll share them with you in 1 second. I'm going to disagree, Jamie. I don't think... I think they're going to make this drag out a while before Negan is arrested. Imprisoned, I guess is the word. So Shanny, I'm along those lines. So Shanny D says Eugene is going to make bombs that will take out some of the saviors. Sabotage the sanctuary, break the gate, make bullets, kill Simon. I do. I think Eugene is going to sacrifice himself, but the only way that we can accept Eugene is if he does something for Rick's group. Because really at this point, he hasn't done anything that bad, I guess. We don't like the fact that he's a coward, but he is a coward. He didn't leave with Rosita, so we didn't like that. But he did try to negotiate with Rick. So in Eugene's mind, whether you like him or you don't like him, he thinks he's doing the right thing to broker peace. So I don't hate Eugene. I don't completely understand him because I wouldn't do the things that Eugene does. But you can understand his character, and to understand his character, you know it's going to be unlikely that he just is welcomed back into Alexandria. I could be wrong. You know, maybe they take him back and Eugene becomes a tough guy, but I just don't see him becoming the comic book character that he is. I don't see him just getting rid of all that and being with Rosita. I don't see that happening. He could save Judith. I mean, there are parts of that. He could lose his life saving Judith. Suicide bomber. You could sabotage the bullets, could make bullets and make blanks. We talked about that a while back, whether or not he could kind of flip-flop it a little bit. What's up, Ellie Valentine? How are you? Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you being here. So Sandy said Rick he's gonna keep Negan in prison. He could. Jamie's like managing. She's like, Maddie, bedtime. You shouldn't be watching this. He's going to have to watch the playback, like the last 10 minutes of playback. It would be appropriate for Eugene's end to be tied to Rosita. You know, that she's talked down to him, but she did try to save him, and it's kind of like, her little brother, she just wants to slap him around a little bit. They went and made the bullets together, and then, she was there to save Eugene, and then she was hurt that Eugene didn't come back. So, I got to think, as cold as Rosita was, it was probably tough for her to push that button on the detonator. So some type of ending with Eugene and Rosita witnessing it or being around it. But could be. But also Rosita had to witness Sasha getting out of that casket. So that might be a little bit of playback. Eugene and Dwighty Boy team up. Oh man, it would. I just can't see it. I'm so convinced that Eugene is a coward. I just can't see it. We can't talk about Dead Lover. I think that's too soon with the comic books. I know what happened in the most recent comic book. I didn't read it, but there's spoilers everywhere. So, yeah, it could happen, but maybe not. Well, Jamie, he's good because we're going to wrap up probably another 5 minutes. I got a little bit of a late start, so I'm going to take a few more questions. Let's see. Remember in season 6, Eugene gave Rick the bullet make? Yes, I do remember that. So Andre Torres says, Eugene will escape and tell Rick everything he knows. Well, what? No, Eugene can't escape. Eugene is the least coordinated person. How is Eugene going to escape? Is he going to build a helicopter? He ain't getting away from Negan. He's not Daryl. Daryl couldn't even escape without the help of Sherry. So there's no way. There's zero probability Eugene is going to escape. I just don't see it. I mean, sometimes the things we want to happen just are not conceivable physically. Rated red. Who's Rick's right-hand man right now? Oh, it's Daryl. There's no doubt it's Daryl. You saw that hug at Hilltop. Daryl was in tears. That's good. Swamp says Eugene does not want to leave those pickles. That's a great comment. Daryl knows more about the sanctuary than... Yeah, that's true. Eugene will use the red-headed to help him aid Alexandria. You guys are giving a lot of faith to Eugene. All right, we've got time for... Wow, this hour flew by. Holy cow. All right, I'm going to get about... Let's get about 3 more questions in here. Because I feel like we answered a ton of questions. This was a lot of comments and a lot of interaction. Whoa, hold on. Oh, my bad, Jamie. See, I get in trouble with with genders. My apology. So Carl Jordan is a girl. Maddie is a girl. My bad. No offense. Now I'm gonna have to retract a lot of stuff. All right, I'll never forget now. Is Sunday night episode 9 predictions? I'm probably going to hold off on the second half of the season for predictions until we get a little bit more of a grasp of what's going on in the first half, because I think we did all 8, and there's just so much that we thought could happen. I think now we've got to sort it out and get the exact spoilers before we go forward with it. Once we piece out episode number 1 and episode number 2, then we'll get back to 9, 10, 11. At this point, though, it's going to be a lot of guessing if we start deciding what we're doing in the second half. Steph is voting they sacrifice Eugene to the Whisperers. No. Don't be mean to Eugene. Does anyone meet Lucille this season? Andre, we just thought it was... we thought it could be Gavin. It's going to be a power kick that Negan beats down one of his own in order to make an example and push Jared up a little bit more. Carol McFry. Kills, have you ever been to San Diego Comic-Con? I have not. But Baltimore Comic-Con. Tommy wants to see a walker with a mullet. Exactly. You know, where is Michelle? You know, when people dislike videos, she says, fight me. What's up, Zach? Okay, 2 more questions, and then we're going to do some shout-outs. And I'm going to have to, you know what's funny, and let me apologize to Maddie, Carl Jordan, who I've called a guy, and Maddie, obviously with a D, is a girl. But I did that with Chaz, too. I saw Chaz, and I was calling Chaz a guy, and it was a girl. I'm a bad YouTuber. Anyway, I still love you guys. And I have to spend more time, I think, on the Facebook page, so I understand and differentiate. Frank plays, will Sherry be one of the people the Whisperers killed like Rosita in the comics? I'm going to say yes. I say Sherry and Heath are your two culprits. Cherilyn kills, do you dress up in costume for Comic-Con? Yes, I do. There'll probably be a follow-up question with that. May go as Star-Lord this year. Thinking about it. You can't. I was. Tommy knows. I was Green Arrow. Whew. Boy, that was super tight. That was some tight leather, man. I mean, it was some tight green leather. You just don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. What was, all right, one more question and then we'll wrap it up. And I did hop on for a little bit. What were you singing earlier, Bree? What's the first thing you typed? Was it like, I was walking in the rain, tears are falling and I feel the pain, wishing you were here by me to end this misery, and I wonder. And you guys can type the rest because I'm not going really high pitch. But I will tell you, when I had that tight leather green Arrow outfit on, I could hit that wah 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 wonder really high. I could have broke glass. Chandeliers would have been falling to pieces the day that I had on that tight green outfit. They were just parts that were not moving. All right, last question. And this is Shadowblade. Will Negan find out about Dwight being in Rick's team? Yes, but only after Dwight is gone. He will not get a chance to do anything bad to Dwight. It's not going to happen. Dwighty boy will redeem himself, and he will be a big part of Rick's army and help bring down Negan. I think Dwight is going to be the one to capture Negan. That's going to make you guys love him. You're going to love Dwight later on. All right, everybody. Kristen, hey, Kills, how many times have you rewatched episode 1 of season 7? Not since the first week. I can't watch it. I can't do it. I watched it so many times doing videos and different angles and stuff. It affected me. I was done with it. I'm not going to go back and watch it again. For 6 years? I've been stranded in hell, and now I've returned to save my city. That's Oliver Queen. All right, everybody. Let's get some shout-outs. This has been a little bit over an hour. Sorry for about a 4 or 5 minute late start. So if you guys are new, you know, you don't know, but I'm going to try to read as many people's names as I can. We will do this again. This is our Wednesday Walker edition. Sunday morning I'll do Chill with Kill. Sunday night we'll do Sunday Spoilers. And Monday night, get involved at Monday Night Random Things because we're having a lot of fun with that, a lot of different topics. So thanks, and let's get the shout-outs going. I want to say what's up to Jamie Jordan, get this thing started. Steph Richardson, thank you for being here. Cherilyn Tuck, Carmen Trance, thank you. Kristen, appreciate you being here. Alex Cameron, also to Maddie. What's up, Maddie? Sorry about calling you a dude. My bad. Hookah Gamer, what's going on? Harley Quinn. Thank you, Harley. Appreciate you being on the Patreon site. So just want to notice you. And also Tommy Sweetass McCandless. Appreciate the new Patreon subscribers. Also Tobin McLeod, Joshua Fett, Carol McFry, Eric Calburn, Who else we got here? We got AJ Jepson, wonderful artist. You guys get over to 999 Army page and check out her artwork. Got to give me a little something other than Daryl and Jesus. How about Daryl and Rosita? Yeah, give me one of those. Diane Estes, thank you for being here. Moody Girl, Dark Angel, thank you so much. My peeps, my moderators. Shay Girl, thank you for being here. Andre Torres, appreciate the questions. Really good questions today. Rebecca from Texas. Who else we got here? We got Weird Walking Dead Theories. Always a pleasure. Appreciate when you're here. Israel Marion. Northside Queen. Tim F. Kel says smile. How's the weather down in Florida? Kel, hopefully it's wonderful down there. And Kel wanted me to sing something too. So, Kel, if you have a request, send it over to me. I'll do the best I can. Also, thank you so much, Shanny D, a.k.a. Little Michonne. Lindsay Luke. Who else we got here? Weird. Sorry, not weird. One's Weird Walking Dead Theories and one is Walking Dead Girl. Kelly G, thank you for being here. Jill, no relation to Jerry Maguire. Thank you, Jill, for being here. Rial, thanks for joining. Who else we got here? Oh, I'm missing people. I am missing mad people. Tonus26, Lisa G in the house. Who else? Some people got a little more lag than others. Walking Dead Girl is like a popsicle on a hot summer day. You guys, I say that. Hopefully people understand the popsicle shout out. It's just not something I made up. It was just something that Carol said to Morgan. It's going to sound a little weird if I do a dedication, though, if somebody doesn't understand it. Emmy Desiree Bacon, who is definitely capable of leading Sherry and a group of 999 Army females into battle. I will never question your resiliency and your toughness ever again, Desiree. Nikki Sticks, thank you for being here. Who else is here? If I missed you, type it really quickly, because otherwise we're going to end the stream in about... Shadowblade, there you go. There's one I missed. Miss Shadowblade. I'm just hanging out for a couple seconds. I'm going to hang out until I see a few other people. So Dalio, thank you for being here. I missed you a little bit earlier. And, all right, if I missed you, sorry I missed you, but you got to type faster. Oh, Beniam Elias, thank you. Shout out to Morris. What's up? You better believe I'll shout out to him. And, all right, we're going to end this thing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You guys have a wonderful next couple days. Peace.